So who have you tipped again?
Who have I tipped? I wish I win.
Okay, I've gone with Cylinder. Now let's find who the Chief Operating Officer of Racing New South Wales thinks will win. Graeme Hinton, how are you, my friend?
Very good, thank you, and thanks for having me.
You got a tip?
Look, I think the two 3-year-olds this year, I think, are pretty impressive horses and pretty confident. Ton Magnia wouldn't be throwing Shinzo in Golden Slipper winner unless the horse was absolutely cherry ripe for this, so it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Racing New South Wales must feel like the big winner because we have had incredible weather. The track looks sensational. We're looking at another record crowd here today. The response this year has just felt next level.
Oh, that's right. And look, the media coverage is unbelievable. You know, we've got media all over this racecourse at the moment. They were all here yesterday. And for the first time, we haven't spent the week watching the radar and worried about rain. So 7 years of the Tab Everest, this is the best weather we've had in the lead up to it. And everyone out here is going to have a cracking time today.
Yeah, the team's done a fantastic job to prepare what will be the perfect stage, the perfect Broadway stage for the richest race on turf. Look, it's so much more than a horse race now, isn't it? It's everything to do with entertainment and tourism. The amount of money that comes into New South Wales because of the Everest.
That's exactly right. We've got people flying in from overseas and interstate. I think it was north of 30% of our pre-sale tickets had actually been either interstate or overseas, which is the highest on record. We got all the Ram Racing boys here from WA. There's about 100 of them with their cowboy hats on today.
I love it.
I can confirm they've been spending a bit behind the bars around Sydney in the last 48 hours. We've had events on all week, Monday through to Friday. Every day has been a function or an event around the Everest, which is just a boom for the tourism and hospitality sector in New South Wales.
Speaking to Peter V'landys at the barrier draw earlier this week, he said, look, I've got to be honest, it's really even exceeded my expectations. And he has lofty expectations.
I can vouch for that. You know, we aim high, and then when we hit that mark, we come back next year and aim higher again. So we'll have a massive day here today, and then we'll debrief and say, how do we get even better next year?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And look, what about this trophy next to us? Nick Chironi has outdone himself again. The King Charles and the races of the... Look, we'll talk to you about the Kosciuszko in just a tick, but King Charles is a ripper.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look, it's attracted the best miler in Australia at the moment, Mr. Brightside, but also some brilliant horses from Europe, which would be very interesting to see. That mile mark is a bit of a test of our Australian good sprinting stocks, where the European more staying horses and they can come together at a mile. It's actually a bit of a fair fight. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and we couldn't be happier with how that field came together.
Why was it important to have a race like that on this card today, on this program, given you've already got the Everest, you've already got the Kosciuszko? Why was there a need to add this race?
I think it's a good question. So we had trainers saying to us, you've got to have a program all the way through. You've got a brilliant sprint race, you've got a great sprinting program with the progression through the shorts, the Premier and the Everest. And we lack that middle distance. So now having a feature mile race adds to this day, but also allows trainers to target multiple different horses at different distance ranges all through spring.
Yeah, and I love the Kosciuszko, and you know, our show's Racing Dreams, and the backbone of the messaging of this program is that everyone can be involved, everyone at every pay scale, everyone around the country, and this just brings trainers from all around the state here to the biggest stage.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you've got the trainers and the owners of those horses, but you've also got a few hundred people here today that paid $5 for a ticket into the Kosciuszko, and they're going to share in that prize money and collect. I think the winner will get best part of $300,000. So that's not bad for a $5 outlay, and we'll be doing all that again next year. So you see all the cheering and jumping up and down, and you think, geez, that'll be a bit of fun. You make sure you get a ticket in the draw next year.
Absolutely.
Now, I know you've got a busy morning of media commitments. I was seated earlier this week next to a gentleman from the US who is out here. It is all part of the international media coverage, the international media interest in this. And for the first time as well, this meet will be included in the world pool. I mean, we've really, in the last 7 years, hasn't this just changed entirely?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we've got media here from New Zealand, Australia, the US. I think I read this morning that the Everest is going to be broadcast in Spanish for the first time into South America.
Peter V'landys in Spanish.
Which is pretty interesting. And I got a stat through last night that the pre-race betting from New Zealand is up 308%. So they've got I Wish I Win, one of the favourites for the race, and they've been promoting the living daylights out of it back in New Zealand, and it's just generating that interest. It's unbelievable.
And you've also got the jockeys from Hong Kong. You've got Zach Purton out here. You've got Huey Bowman out here. That brings a whole another level of interest.
Look, it does, and that segues well into the world pools. So you've got the Hong Kong punters betting on our product, and what we know is they're very loyal. So they'll follow Huey and they'll follow Zach. I think we'll see every wagering record broken today off the back of that world pool.
All right, now lightening the subject a little bit, we're also picking the perfect Everest cocktail today. Tell us about this. This is like, apart from kebabs and hot dogs, you're playing right
You've
into
come
the
to the
strong
right
suit.
place.
No, that's exactly right. Look, there's two things you've got to vote for today. One's the referendum. The other one is what your favourite cocktail is on course. So at 4 different locations around Randwick, we're testing 4 different cocktails. And what we want to see is the most popular cocktail. You've got to tag yourself and vote via the QR code. You can win a couple of grand if you vote.
Nice.
And whatever the winning cocktail is today will be our official Everest cocktail next year.
So I get paid to taste test.
Yeah, well, if you're lucky
Well,
enough. Yeah.
potentially.
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
I've got to
Graeme, it's good to see you. Have a great day. Congratulations to everything it's become and what it will become.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the support.